Well, it finally happened. We got our first frost and real life here. I brought my geraniums inside because I did not have enough time to take them out and get them ready for the winter. So here they are in my great room. Let's go see what it's looking like outside. It is cold. It's probably about 31 degrees, which I know it could be a lot worse. See the frost on the hot tub. Oh, my fern actually looks halfway decent. But my impatiens are definitely done. Done. Oh my goodness. Yep. So the garden is officially going to sleep for the winter, which I am okay with. It's sad, but at the same time, I think it's nice to have a little bit of a break. My elephant ears are done. Zinnias are done. Lamb's ears still looking nice. Dahlias are curling up. And my salvia is going to be done. The leaves are definitely wilted, and tonight we're supposed to get down even colder, I think, to 29 degrees. So it'll be time to pull some things out, and later today, after I get back, my daughter has a turkey trot today at her school. I am going to hopefully show you how I overwinter my geraniums. So I will see you guys in a little bit, a little later. Well, I was never able to get to this yesterday, got too busy, but today is a beautiful day, so I'm kind of glad that I didn't do it yesterday. It feels really nice out right now, really warm and sunny. These were, well, especially this big one was quite heavy to get out of there, but they were all tucked in nicely and didn't get hit by the frost, which everything else has. Everything else is pretty much done. So I want to get these in some winter storage. I am going to be putting them in paper bags today and just showing you how I do that, and then I will be able to use them next year. Great way to save money. These plants are usually about $5 a piece, and I think I have about 6 of them, so that saves me a little bit of money, and I am happy about that. So let's get these into winter storage. And I also should say that this big one is so big because last year I left it in its pot in the garage, including the spike. This was just a tiny little spike. I think a Dracaena, is that how you say it, spike plant, and it got huge. I used it last year and then overwintered it in the garage, and it basically has turned into like a mini palm tree. But I cannot store this in the garage. I only have a garage, no shed. I just don't have the room. So I am going to probably just get rid of that today. And the geraniums were also overwintered with the spike in the same pot. I just planted them in a bigger pot this summer. So they just got humongous, which, I mean, they were so beautiful. So beautiful. I don't know if they will get that big again next year after being overwintered in a paper bag. They may not grow this big, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see what they do. And then these right here, I did overwinter in paper bags, just bare root, which I am going to do today. So really nice way to save space if you don't have room to keep your geraniums in pots, but that can be done if you want to keep them in pots. And just water them like once every few weeks real lightly, just to keep them a little bit moist. That's all that I did. And then bring them out when the weather warms up and let them start regrowing. So let's get going. All right, I have my stack of paper bags. I got these from Aldi, and my Hori knife, which is a very nice tool to have. I've realized this year, this is my first year with the Hori knife, but it works so well in just cutting plants and slicing through roots and all of those things. So I would definitely recommend getting a Hori knife. And my clippers. I think that I'm going to have to clip these down a little bit before I put them in paper bags, because they're so big. So I think in order to fit them in the bag, I have to clip them a little bit. And as the winter goes on, they will begin to lose all of their leaves. And then in the spring, when you bring them back out, I just put them in potting soil. I cut off all the dead leaves, cut the stems down to, I don't know, maybe a few inches, and then they just rebloom. It's like magic. It's so cool to watch them actually rebloom from, like, just, they look dead. They look like sticks, but they rebloom beautifully. So I'm gonna go in and start cutting these plants away and cutting away the spike to get ready to put into my bag. How big this one plant is. It is huge. I was having a really hard time getting that out of the pot, so I decided to lay it on its side, and I was gonna see if I could get like the whole thing out, like the geraniums and the spike all together. I might try to do that. If I can't, then I'm just gonna kind of cut away at it on its side, and hopefully that'll make it easier. But yes, this is one beautiful big plant. Oh my goodness. So pretty and healthy. All right, I got it out of the pot, which is gonna make it a little bit easier to slice the geraniums away. I'm trying hard not to get poked in the eye by this spike plant. I did that one time this summer and it really hurt, so I'm gonna try not to do that. But let's keep cutting away at this thing. All right, that was hard work. I don't know if you can see all of these roots from the geranium and from the spike plant, There are so many roots to cut through, but I got it. That was tough. The next one should be much easier. But look at that. These plants were absolutely ginormous. But they will be awesome to bring back next year. I have my paper bag and one of my geraniums right here. This is probably the biggest roots system that I got out of all three of them, and I'm just gonna kind of cut the roots down a little bit. They're a little too big for the bag, and you want to just kind of knock away as much dirt as you can to before you put them in the bag. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'm gonna cut them down a little bit because these aren't gonna fit into my paper bag. So let's get to that. I knocked a good amount of dirt off and cut a little bit of roots around the side, but it still has a pretty good root system to it. So I'm gonna just go through and snip some of these stems. I will probably end up cutting these stems even shorter in the springtime when it's time to regrow them. But right now I'm probably cutting them about 10 inches just so they can fit into the bags. All right, I think it's still too big. Yep. All right, I guess I need to keep cutting. I've never had them this big before, so we shall see how this goes. I did forget to mention that if you have these real big geraniums, you can also store them in cardboard boxes, which I don't think I have any cardboard boxes big enough. I should have pre-planned for that, but you can also do that. That's a good option. Trim the roots a little bit. And you want to always store them upside down so that any moisture can drain out of the stems. And what I might end up doing is just covering this with maybe another paper bag or something, and maybe I'm gonna go see if I have any cardboard boxes laying around because these are just huge. So I'll be back. I only found one box in my garage. This might hold one or two. I just might do the double bag method for right now unless I can come across more boxes and paper bags, and then I'll just transfer them into something more appropriate. But you just want to make sure that you have a dark space to keep them in, which the paper bag keeps them in that dark space, and then you want to store them in a cool area. So mine just stay in my unheated garage, or you could do like a cooler basement, something like that. So let's see how this guy fits into the box. a little bit better. I will probably put one more in here and then just use whatever paper bags I have. Got 2 in this box, and I have 1 more to go, and then I have to do my other pot. I think this one is the biggest one. Oh my word. So pretty. I really hate cutting these. They still look so good. Double bagged this one, and I don't think I mentioned yet that I spritzed the roots really lightly, maybe 2, maybe 3 times throughout the winter, just like a couple spritzes, just to keep them very slightly moist. I don't even know if you really have to do that. I've read different places that it's good to do, so I just check on them a couple times throughout the winter. Other geraniums moved out of the way, cleaned up the deck a little bit, got that spike plant into the garage to go into the trash, sadly. And now I just have this last pot to do. I think that I'm gonna try to see if I can cut away the roots or maybe turn it on its side and dump it out so that I can slice it a little bit easier. So I'm going to cut the stems down first this time to hopefully make it a little bit easier on myself. Okay, definitely much smaller than the other geraniums, but it will still work. This should be a little more manageable to put into a paper bag. I always remember my grandmother having geraniums in her house. She brought them in and overwintered them in her house, which you can also do. She would just keep them on a sunny windowsill, and then she would bring them out in the springtime when it got warm again. So that's always an option too. But I don't have the space for that. I wish I did. Wish I had a greenhouse and all the things, but I am just working with what I have and saving what I can with the space I have, and yeah, just doing with what I've got. Geranium number 2, looking good. And 1 more to go. that one was super easy to get out. That job was a whole lot easier than the other ones. So let's get these in their paper bags. Make a great big mess and knock off some of the dirt on the roots. This is where I need a tray or something, I guess, to not make such a mess on my deck. This should fit nicely into the paper bag. Yes. Alright. Much better than the other one. So then you can like tape it shut or staple it shut. I just fold it over. I don't have a stapler at this moment, but I will probably go in and staple these shut and put them up on a shelf. I will keep them off of the garage floor just to avoid too much temperature fluctuation, and I think sometimes when you put things on a concrete garage floor it can tend to dry things out quicker. So I will put them up on a shelf off of the floor. That's it. They're all prepped and ready for the winter. I hope this video was helpful for you guys, that you enjoyed it, that maybe it inspired you, motivated you to overwinter some of your geraniums. If you do overwinter geraniums, please let me know in the comments how you do that, what you do. I'm curious to know. I will talk to you guys in the next video, and I hope that you have a great week. All right, bye.